The film The Godfather is a controversial film as it steps aside from the traditional norms of filmmaking in the 1970s and enters a direct world that criticizes the corruption that was continuously spreading throughout the government and its branches. The film takes heavy influence from directors like Luchino Visconti and Bernardo Bertolucci, as they represent ballad-like stories in operatic form, showcasing Italian influence and manipulating the viewer's perception of what is occurring throughout a given film. It is no surprise that Italian culture plays a major role in The Godfather, because the mafias that once controlled the Northeast were famously governed by Italian Americans such as Al Capone. Francis Coppola penetrates into the Hollywood atmosphere with clear conviction for the representation of Italian Americans and the effects of power play within family relations and individual decision-making. It is within the culture that is portrayed through The Godfather that the film comes to life and takes typical viewers of film into a new perspective that views the true impact of crime and corruption on human beings. It is through the use of lighting and mise-en-scène that Francis Coppola establishes the theme of power under the context of Italian American heritage to showcase corruption that individuals choose to exploit and their effects on the human. To begin, let's look at the lighting in The Godfather, starting at the beginning of the film with the opening scene. We are instantly confronted by a man obscured by shadow. Only the top half of his face is clearly shown due to a practical light being angled upon the top of his head. However, while this top half is shown in light, his eyes remain covered in low light, only being given definition through catchlight, or the light in his pupils. The darkness that surrounds Bonacera's facial features showcases the feelings of shame and preoccupation that he experiences as he requests for assistance from Vito Corleone regarding his daughter's safety as she gets into grave danger with her boyfriend. In this opening scene, Coppola instantly reels the viewer in and sets the stage for what will be nothing short of a confrontational, controversial, and emotionally intensive film. How does he do it? The chiaroscuro effect. The chiaroscuro technique, or effect, is a lighting technique that originated during the Italian Renaissance, in which artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Caravaggio used to establish strong emotional impact on the viewer as a result of high contrast lighting. Here, Coppola uses the contrast of the light placed outside of the close-up shot to contrast the pitch black background, creating shadows which are unevenly distributed upon the subject's facial features, displaying his emotion of concern to the audience. However, the catchlight contrasts the darkness surrounding Bonacera's eyes, which we can infer as viewers that the light is originating from another source. Given the context of the rest of the scene, it is revealed to the viewer that the catchlight was not coming from another source of light, but was rather placed there as a representation of Vito Corleone. Coppola utilizes Italian culture through the chiaroscuro lighting to familiarize the viewers in the context of power and its impacts on individuals. He shows how an individual who is so broken down has to muster the willpower to ask for assistance from a man who maintains such a high position of power. However, fast forward to our next clip, and we see how the variation of chiaroscuro changes the impact on the audience's perception of the emotions that Vito Corleone is experiencing. In this shot, there is yet again another practical light placed above the subjects that establishes harsh shadows under their eye sockets. The light here could be symbolic of the heavens, as Vito's son has just passed away as a result of a violent manner to control power. The light is representative of Sonny saying, "Why did it have to end this way? Why did you get us into this mess, Dad?" to Vito Corleone, as the shadows are cast by the light, showing the pain that Vito retains as a result of his actions and relationships. Chiaroscuro lighting is utilized in the shot to showcase the impact that a grasp on power can have on individuals by expressing Vito's sunken, drowned emotions through darkness. It is almost as if the power symbolized by the darkness has corrupted Vito, and he is now facing the consequences of his actions as the light from above the shot composition confronts him in the face of his own child's dead body. In this scene, Coppola clearly demonstrates an operatic structure and style in The Godfather, as mentioned by Citron on page 423. In this given scene, the opera that is the film's plot is singing an aria which is a part of an opera in which the characters express their emotions in a more structured melodic style. Vito is constricted to a few words as his emotions take a grasp on his heart. "Look how they massacred my boy," showcasing a short, structured ballad that brings the viewer into the perspective of a man who, in gaining power for himself and his family, has begun to lose the family that he once fought for. It is in this shot that Vito Corleone realizes that it's time to move on from being the Godfather. Furthermore, throughout The Godfather, Coppola uses mise-en-scène through the use of color to solidify the presence of Italian culture throughout the film while expressing the theme of power and its ebbs and flows. Looking at the opening sequence of Connie's marriage shows a vast array of color that emphasizes a lavish, gaudy lifestyle that the Corleone family lives as a result of the power that they have control over. Given the context on the rest of the film, each color has significance as it takes some of the life out of the main characters to preserve color within their family. The black and white outfits juxtapose the green nature of the setting, pitting formality and business against nature and tranquility. However, in the midst of this juxtaposition, the red of the ties foreshadows the blood that will be spilled in order to retain the power that is necessary for the Corleone family to remain stable and influential. Coppola's varied composition of color within the opening sequence showcases the duality of the lifestyle that the Corleone family lives in. The composition of brighter, vibrant colors against lower concentration, dull colors, represents the choices that the Corleone family is forced to make to retain control and balance as relative to their family history. For example, it cannot be without the death or a worthy sacrifice that the Corleone family can take a rest and enjoy the pleasures of wealth in a society that accepts corruption. Coppola excellently sets up a storyline that criticizes the easily corruptible government and that highlights power as a symptom of impending sacrifice and consequence. This final scene epitomizes Coppola's use of mise-en-scène to portray the choices that must be made to gain and retain power. Waltz had previously gloated about his prized horse that cost him over $1 million to grow into the beautiful figure that it was. However, he had messed with the Corleone family. Coppola starts the scene off with Waltz being pictured in his bed, sleeping with his gilded bed frame and bronze-colored bedwear, showcasing his rich and lavish lifestyle. However, as Waltz tussles in bed, the audience is exposed to a patch of vibrant red on the sheets. As Waltz rises from his bed and pulls down his blanket, the red continues to spread all the way until the head of Waltz's prized horse is revealed. The contrast between red and gold shows Waltz that money cannot stop the wrath of the Corleone family if you tinker with their plans. Kenneth DiMaggio brings up the point that Coppola utilizes Machiavellian characters and storytelling to reveal the deeper Italian culture that is based around reputation and family status in his article Leave the Gun, Take the Cannone. Coppola's masterpiece exemplifies the use of lighting and mise-en-scène to establish a sense of power and sacrifice in the name of a better social standing for a family that is significant as a result of their Italian culture. With the implementation of lighting, the human within the gangster is revealed, and with the painting of the film in color, the consequences for necessary actions are exposed and dramatized. The actualization of Italian culture within the film solidifies its nature as a cult classic, placing it in a position of higher power and greater influence. The Godfather represents a family's grasp on power and transition to a new leaf as their net is slowly unwound by situations that occur around them.